Republican voters in Iowa and New Hampshire are just weeks away from declaring their presidential candidate picks. The Iowa caucuses come first. They're on January 15th, and the New Hampshire GOP primary is exactly 4 weeks away. Donald Trump, of course, remains the front runner in both national and early state polls, but other hopefuls aren't letting up as they continue to campaign ahead of the first Republican nominating contest. So let's bring in CBS News campaign reporter Allison Novelo. Allison, great to have you here. You've been speaking with Republican voters in Iowa. Have they, maybe over Christmas, made up their minds about who they plan to support in the caucuses?
Hi, Evan. Good to see you. Yes, so after spending a few months on the ground in Iowa, it does seem like Republican voters have mostly made up their mind about who they support going into 2024. You know, as you said earlier, Donald Trump is very much still in the lead in the state. According to the latest CBS News polls, we're seeing him at about 58%. That's 36 points still ahead of Governor Ron DeSantis and 45 points still ahead of former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. And after chatting with some of his voters on the ground, it does seem like they are steadfast in supporting the former president, and it doesn't look like they're considering an alternative at this time.
Okay, now you mentioned Nikki Haley. In the press, she's been getting a lot of momentum, especially in New Hampshire. What are you seeing in terms of her growing support and maybe who's getting behind her right now?
So for those voters that are kind of sick of Donald Trump's baggage, they are looking for another candidate, an alternative candidate. And in the case of Nikki Haley, what's interesting is that she's started to garner support from moderate and independent voters, especially in the state of New Hampshire and slightly in the state of Iowa as well. For those voters, after chatting with them, they have taken a liking to her stance on abortion. They've taken a liking to her stance on the environment, acknowledging that climate change is in fact a thing. And that's something that's notable about Nikki Haley. It's drawn some criticism from some of her GOP rivals who are trying to gain that conservative vote, right, and have said that she is not a true conservative. And it's also drawn some criticism from Democrats as well. The Biden administration has warned voters that she is not a true moderate, despite what some are starting to think. Even the governor in Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, has warned voters that she is not a moderate and has talked about her abortion stance, sort of comparing her to an arsonist and saying that it's like giving matches to an arsonist. So that's something that's definitely noteworthy about Nikki Haley. It's not likely something that will make a drastic difference in the state of Iowa, but something that has come up a lot with moderate and independent voters.
Now, as you say, she's been doing better in New Hampshire, but back in Iowa, Ron DeSantis has been spending a lot of time and a lot of money on his Iowa campaign. Any chance he can make up the distance with Donald Trump, or is DeSantis now a bit of a lost cause?
So from what we've seen so far in the polls, it doesn't look like Governor Ron DeSantis is catching up. He did complete a full Grassley earlier this month, successfully visiting all 99 counties in the state. From what we've seen, it has drawn some applause from his supporters at his events, but not enough to really boost him in the polls. And that's especially the case for businessman Vivek Ramaswamy, who is set to complete a second full Grassley by January 2nd. He is almost there, well on his way, has been doing more than 8 or 9 campaign stops in a day, and it hasn't really made that much of a difference for him in the polls. He's still in the single digits. So despite the effort that some of these candidates have put in, we're not seeing a major difference there.
I like the full Grassley, that famous Iowa there. Okay, Allison Novelo, everyone doing their best there. Thanks so much.